Surf's up. It's Mauisnake, and it's the Budapest Major, so you know what that means. Pick'Ems. First things first, if you want to skip ahead to the timestamp below where I do the actual in-game pick'ems, you'll see that there. I'll get more into the depth about the picks that I'm making here. But given that I am a Skin Club ambassador and Skin Club is running their own pick'ems contest, we're going to be looking at that first. So use my link in the description below if you want to win a Dragon Lore potentially, a Steam profile signature from ROPS, and if you want to submit pick'ems the old-fashioned way. This 92-year-old website serves pick'ems the good old way. You are trying to play the 9 out of 9 movement here because you're trying to get as many points as possible, but I'm just going to be going through this super quickly. Again, skip ahead if you want to see all of my reasoning. I'm going to be doing Red Canids and in the 03, Legacy in the 3-0. I'm going to be doing Phase, Gamer Legion, Bait, Fnatic, M80, NIP, and Paravision. There we go, making the prediction there. Saved. And if you want to submit for some other things, I went for Blame F because I feel like Fnatic are going to be like a 3-2, 2-3 team. My eyes is going to top frag every time, so he's going to get the most kills. And I think the most picked map will be Inferno. I went through actually all of the permaban vetoes for all of the teams in Stage 1. The most permaban map is Nuke with roughly 5.5 because one of the teams actually, I think it's NIP, they ban it like half the time. And then the second most banned map is actually Mirage. And so even though a lot of teams love to play Mirage in this one, there's 3 teams that ban it, so no chance that it can even show up in the veto there. Inferno, the only map that is not touched by permabans whatsoever, whereas literally I think you can go through them all. Train's banned by a couple teams, Overpass, Nuke, Ancient, Dust2, Mirage, all of them are touched by one or more teams. And Overpass is only banned by a single team actually, but I just don't think that it's going to show up in BO1 vetoes whatsoever. So we're going to move on from that. Those are my predictions. Be sure to go to Skin Club for your chance to win some prizes that they've got, some cool prizes. And make sure to check in back on Stage 2, Stage 3 when these all open up and you can win some stuff. So here, this is the timestamp you probably skip through in order to see my actual pick'ems in the game. I'm on HLTV's website because my computer on Budapest Wi-Fi is taking a very long time to download the update to the game. So just sync your Steam on their website. This is not even brought to you by HLTV whatsoever, so I don't even need to sell you guys on what they're doing on that website. Obviously, it's great. But I'm going to be getting into this first with the 3-0s. So Legacy is my clear-cut 3-0. I don't think that there's really any good team, if I'm being completely honest, but given the fact that they won CAC, that they got second place at the PGL Bucharest Masters event, they've shown consistency, and in fact they are the, well, second highest rated team on HLTV, and I think that the players are consistent enough that there's reason to believe that they should do it. But another reason that I think actually you should go for Legacy as 3-0 is that they actually, usually you get one of these random teams like a Parivision or like an NRG or like, I don't know, like a Fluxo, and they've just played way more maps than everybody else. The funny thing is, Legacy has actually played the most maps in the last 3 months of any team that is attending Stage 1. They've played 72 maps, and we already know that they're good. So the fact that they're consistently placing highly at big tournaments while playing a lot of maps shows that they are, maybe there's a lot to game plan against, but they've proven that they're actually just a well-rounded team. So putting them 3-0. The other team I want to put is mostly just based off of seeding. Because FaZe have really strong seeding in this, I am going to be going with them. I don't really think I love everything I've been seeing from FaZe, but that's usually against Tier 1 opposition. So I think that they're actually just personnel-wise, with just Twist and Frozen, you're just going to beat 60% of these teams. I know that's kind of reductive, but I don't really see a reason why the woes of FaZe from the season should carry over to Stage 1, which is mostly filled with teams that are ranked between 30th and above. I mean, 30th to like 80th in the world rankings, so yeah, that's why I'm going with them. Maybe it's a bit of a cop-out. I feel like some of the other teams have maybe shown a little bit better form lately, but I can't really even point to a single team and say, yes, this team clearly deserves this. Like, Gamer Legion has slipped up in a few ways lately, too. So even though I'm going to include Gamer Legion in my picks, I don't really think that they're the safest 3-0 with the roster that they have. Like, Tossin's actually become their highest rated player lately, even though they're putting more of an emphasis on PR to do well. So that's a little bit wacky for me. I just feel like they're a little bit young too. So I'll be including them. But let's go to 03. Okay, actually, yeah, let's go to 03. I have a few teams that I really think are the only ones you should really be considering here. And those are Rare Atom, Red Canids, and the Huns. And so I'm kind of between a few of these teams right now. The reason I choose all of them are pretty simply put, they're the lowest ranked teams. They're not really on my radar. I don't think that they even necessarily have tricky vetoes or anything like that. For example, the Huns do like Nuke and Ancient, but but the thing is that on the other side, Red Canids and Rare Atom, they just like Mirage a lot, and I just don't think you're going to catch any of these teams off by playing Mirage. The teams that are good, that are better than you, are just going to be, they're just going to willingly play that, and they don't care. Like they're just going to be better than you guys. Like Mirage has not become. It doesn't feel like it's as puggy of a map in CS2 as it once was, and so I also don't think they really have the star power to make me really believe in them. For example, Rare Atom's best player is Child King. I've seen him play a handful of Tier 1 events at this point. He doesn't really pop off the page too often. Red Canids, it's Venom Zera, who seems to have gotten a little bit better since the last time I was checking in with Red Canids, but I don't think you really have a strong enough roster behind him. So personally, I just think that also with the Huns, I think the one thing about the Huns that's kind of a little bit of a saving grace is that they've been playing a lot of pretty good games in Asia lately. So I think that there's reason to believe they'll get at least one win, but I still think I just can't believe in Score being a good enough player. So I'm going to go with Red Canids and the Huns, and I think this is a bit of a cop out. I kind of wish for the, just being a little bit more obscure, I would go for Rare Atom instead of the Huns. But no, I just can't believe in them at all. I haven't seen them win enough lately. I think that they're probably the worst in terms of being a well-rounded team. Like I can point to some other aspects of Rare Atom that are good beyond just their star player, but with the Huns, like Bartak is my second best player really, or Nine, their IGL Opper. I just don't really believe in that kind of stuff. So let's move into the teams that I think are going to advance beyond that. NIP, I'm going to put them because I just believe that I think X-Kitspersky might just be one of the 5 best riflers in this entire group. Beyond that, I think Wrinkle has more to give. He's kind of had a dip in form lately, but I think the snappy style is good enough that it's going to help propel them regardless. Bait is another team that has actually beaten some of these teams all recently at the ESL Pro League that they attended. They've kind of fallen off a little bit, and I think that Alex666 as the in-game leader hasn't really boosted them as they would have wanted. But NPL is another great rifler in this group, so I'm going to put some faith in them. I think they're very well-rounded, as a matter of fact. Headtrick is probably my big question mark right now because he's had a pretty massive dip in form. And almost kind of on the flip side, that's gonna be why I include a team that I didn't think I was going to include. Until DAPS was announced as being the IGL for NRG, I was considering picking them. They did go 0-3 recently at ESL Pro League, so maybe that was a bad idea, and so maybe I'm getting bailed out here. But yeah, I'm gonna include Paravision. They're kind of my last team just because I haven't seen them beat any top 20 teams this season, but having a really strong opper at this stage I think is incredibly valuable. I think James has actually made a more well ironed out team behind him, and I think that when you have a Paravision or when you have a James-led team, you're just prone to getting upset victories, although they are a little bit inexperienced. And now for the other 2 rosters I'm going to be considering here, I have a couple. I think that Fnatic actually, even though Jacasmo to me was actually, I think it might actually be a downgrade. I think BlameF is also one of the top 5 riflers here in this group. I think Jambo is probably one of the top 3 oppers in this group, roughly speaking. And I just think that Crims has had a weird resurgence in form. So yeah, I'll still include Fnatic. They've actually shown me just enough recently at the CAC event to make it to the playoffs there that I think that they're worth picking here. And for my final team, I'm kind of between a couple. I'm between M80 and I'm between Linvision, and I actually have been thinking about Fluxo just enough because they've just been cleaning up in South America. But you could never make me pick Art and Kai willingly, so I'm not going to be doing that. Another aspect of Fluxo that's kind of weirdly nice is that they've played, let me see, I think they've played a lot of maps. No, actually, they've played very few maps, so that's a reason. No, they played 63 maps recently, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good amount. So I think that's actually kind of a reason where I feel like they've been battle-tested lately. But the last team I am going to be including is M80. I just think that the Swisher's recently actually gotten pretty good. Lake is still a really solid entry force. Slacks, I mean, he's a European opper in a group like this, so I think he's going to be good enough for sure. And yeah, I just think that the Hex edition has actually lightly boosted them. I think they needed another voice on the team. I think they've gotten their secondary caller in Hex, who has experience with a bunch of different in-game leaders and mentors, and he's been playing Counter-Strike the right way for quite some time. I know that people don't really like him that much because he shit talks or yells, but it's like I think I like it. I like that stuff. So that's enough of an energy boost for me that I think that M80 really needed. So it's been a shot in the arm. The other two teams I was considering here, or really thinking about, was LinVision and FlyQuest. LinVision lately, probably the most deserving, but I just think they have very little star power. I know that's kind of ironic given their player's name is Starry, who probably should be giving them something. But FlyQuest, on the other hand, is the team that weirdly, I think every single move that they've made has made sense in my head. However, the result has just actually led to a decline in their play. Unfortunately, on top of that, they have not played that many maps. They've only played 29 official maps lately, which is the least of any team here by far. And that is incredibly worrying. Incredibly worrying. So I'm not going to be picking them. And yeah, hope to see you guys watching the major. I wish I could co-stream it. Just kidding. I'm glad to be working it. Shouts out Star Ladder. Shouts out everybody that's watching this. Yeah, either way, thank you guys so much. Thank you, SkinClub, also for sponsoring this. And as always, being toxic is a choice.